give the floor to Gianluca Saba, who is from the Mayor's Office, Head of Communications in the Municipality of Genoa, and also representing here the Sustainable Tourism Partnership, as Genoa is one of the co-coordinators of the Urban Agenda for the EU Sustainable Tourism Partnership. So Gianluca, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Nadia. Can you hear me well?
Great.
Excellent. So good morning, everyone, and thank you, Nadia, Nagore, and Joseph for inviting me as co-coordinator of the Urban Agenda Partnership on Sustainable Tourism this morning in this webinar. We are co-coordinators together with the city of Galati in Romania. But a few words to present to the audience what the Sustainable Tourism Partnership is. It is one of the partnership of the Urban Agenda, of the second generation Urban Agenda partnerships that brings together cities, regions, member states, EU institutions, and stakeholders in the field of tourism, of course, to co-create, co-design and co-create actionable solutions for more resilient and sustainable tourism models. We are over 30 partners, so it's a quite huge partnership. We have also 3 general directorates of the European Commission. The outputs of this partnership are being developed within the framework of the Urban Agenda for EU, promoting multi-level cooperation. As I just said, we have all the levels of government, and promoting knowledge exchange between local and European actors. We started with the production of the orientation paper, and now we have adopted the action plan with 6 main actions. We are now in the implementation phase. We have been working for 3 years, but as an evidence of the success of the partnership, we will keep on working together for an additional year that will be basically dedicated to the promotion and communication of the results of the partnership work. Today's webinar marks the presentation of the first tangible result of this collaborative effort, and the guidelines for enabling climate-friendly tourist destinations developed within the Action 1, led by the Diputación de Barcelona, represented here by Joseph. This is just the first example of a series of deliverables to be produced and published over the forthcoming months. Each of these deliverables will be focused and connected to the key pillars of sustainable urban tourism. I refer to environmental dimension, social dimension, economic dimension, and skills related. These deliverables are designed to be practical, concrete, relevant, and adaptable for different types of urban destinations. So I'm particularly happy to see also some historical friends of mine and friends we have relation with, because these solutions are conceived to be promoted to a wider audience, and I will be happy to see how the work will go on. I will follow as much as possible the work of the webinars today. So thank you again for this opportunity.
Thank you very much, Gianluca, for the contribution and for setting the framework of how the Sustainable Tourism Partnership works. And now, before we start with invited speakers, I'm sure that you all wonder what this Action 1 is about and what the Action 1 is producing and presenting here today. So I'm giving the floor to Josep Rodriguez, the Head of Strategic Projects in the Tourism Department of the Barcelona Provincial Council, who is the action leader of Action 1. Josep, thank you very much. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Nadia. Thank you, Gianluca. Good morning, everyone, and thanks for participating in this first webinar of the Urban Agenda Partnership. As Gianluca said, today we are going to introduce the guidelines for enabling climate-friendly and resilient urban destinations. This has been produced within the action plan of the Urban Agenda Partnership by the Working Group on Environment. This is a working group co-led by the Barcelona Provincial Council and the Municipality of Heraklion, and counts on the participation of the Municipality of Larissa, the Andalusia Ministry of Tourism, the Ministry of Economics of Estonia, the DG Move, the DG Regio, and other networks like ICLEI and Eurocities. This working group is developing two actions. Action one, focus on climate change, and the second action will be focused on certifications and the support to SMEs. Today, we initiate this series of webinars.
I'm sorry, but could you please mute everyone, the microphones? I'm sorry. Thanks.
Okay. Okay, so as Gianluca said, today we initiate this series of webinars for the presentation of the outputs of the different working groups. These guidelines that we are going to introduce today is the first webinar, but in the coming weeks, we will have another webinar focused on the action 2. That will be the presentation of a handbook of good practices and certification pathways for SMEs. Well, this action 1 wants to generate guidelines focused on how urban destinations can develop climate action plans, how to communicate them, how to promote climate-friendly offer, also how to attract climate-friendly demand, promote better tourist behavior within the destinations. At the same time, we also wanted to align the case studies included in the guidelines around the 5 pillars of the Glasgow Declaration on Tourism and Climate Change. So measurement, decarbonization, regeneration, collaboration, and financing. The working group, we have been working in defining the relevant criteria for the selection of the case studies and in urban tourist destinations. And we have collected more than 50 cases coming from European platforms, own partners' experiences, networks, or other European projects. And after that, we have counted on the excellent support of an external experts, Mrs. Nagore Uresandi, who has prepared the final version of the practical guidelines, completing the selection, fine-tuning the cases, and also defining the practical guidelines, as you will see. So without further ado, I give the floor to Nagore, who will explain you the main characteristics of the publication. Thank you.
Thank you, Giuseppe. So I'll be sharing the publication. All right, you can see it, right? Super.
Yeah.
So as Giuseppe was explaining, so this document is thinking on destinations that you might be now in the audience or others that couldn't join today. But if you see the table of contents, the idea is to inspire destinations that are thinking on addressing, tackling climate change. It's easy to say I'm going to do an action plan on climate from a tourism perspective. It's a bit more difficult. Crystallize that into something as specific actions that you can actually accomplish. And this is what the document wants to do: inspire destinations to see real cases of destinations that have embarked on specific activities, things that didn't go right, things that actually were successfully accomplished, the governance of it all, so different entities that collaborated together. In some cases, there's even clarity on budget that was needed to be able to accomplish it, which is usually one of the pickles for people to decide to embark on certain activities, right? So as you can see, the table of contents, apart from the introduction and the objectives of the document that Giuseppe already covered, apart from the 5 pathways of Glasgow that I'll address in a minute, we have a section on prepare yourself to develop your climate action plan, in the sense that there's certain homeworks that we are supposed to be doing before embarking on a plan. Also the governance perspective, because tourism is an across sector, but usually the person responsible for developing an action plan most likely is not the manager of the mobility of the destination, is not the manager of the urban planning in the destination, is not responsible for the cleaning services or other areas that can be relevant for circularity or for other topics. So this is why prepare yourself to develop your climate action plan and governance sections are quite relevant. And then after the practical cases that I'll now speak of, that are the sections on measure, decarbonize, regenerate, and collaborate and finance, we have also the section on situation analysis that help us a bit understand and have kind of a picture of the point at which we're starting this process, and then how relevant it is to communicate what you're doing and what you intend to do so that others join and are part of it and collaborate so that it happens, others even be inspired by what you're doing. Monitoring and reporting, that is pretty evident that if you're doing a climate action plan and you're a signatory of the Glasgow Declaration, you're going to be asked every year, so how are you doing, what you've been able to accomplish? So you need to do some monitoring and reporting. Transparency, that is a no-brainer, okay? So in this page, in page 7, you have per each of the Glasgow pathways, the 20 real tourism destination cases. We couldn't invite all the cases today, but we have a very important representation of one per each of these pathways, as you have seen in the program, and they are the main roles today for the webinar. I'm sure that you're waiting to listen to them, so I'm not gonna hold you long, but at least that you can see that the cases, for instance, if we go to measure and we go to the first case, that is Visit Flanders, so you have an introduction on everything that I was mentioning before in terms of governance and the situation analysis, but then we get to the actual cases, and the cases are 2 pages long, because we know that nowadays people, we don't read so much, so we go straight to the point on the content that we are interested in. So the idea is that in very little words, you can get the idea of what was the challenge that was addressed, what was the objective behind the action, what was actually achieved, and then how was this achieved, why did it work, okay, and this is quite relevant. Did part of it not work, and why? We included this because sometimes we learn more from what didn't actually work than for what it actually worked. And then main lessons learned, that is quite insightful for others that might want to replicate this, and you can learn before trying to avoid some mistakes that others did. Who was involved? And you're going to see that in most cases there's never a case that is just one single entity that is involved. It usually needs the collaboration of the destination, supra destination, in the sense of if you're a local destination, the regional one or the national one, or the environmental department of the same destination, or academics or researchers, or so it depends on the case, but there's always others involved. Who has benefited from the action? So in the end, who are we benefiting? And then budget. In some cases, it basically says who has been putting forward the actual money, and in other cases, there's actual numbers on budget that was. So as you can see, this is how it goes. Okay, so each case has 2 pages, so it's not so long, and then decarbonize and so on and so forth. And towards the end, as I was telling you before, we go more into communicate. So why is it relevant to communicate? Communicate to whom? Common tools that you can use that helps in terms of communicating. That visitor-oriented, usually we communicate towards our residents and towards other stakeholders, but we tend to forget that the whole idea of tourism is that it's demand-driven. So we need visitors to be invested in that the destination, it's taking time and resources to work in adaptation and mitigation, and monitoring and reporting, as I was mentioning, and then transparency. Okay, so this is the document. You can see that it's long, but most cases what you would probably do is go to the table of contents and then perhaps go directly to measure and then to the actual cases that you're interested in. So it's quite straightforward. So I'm not going to be speaking longer since it's 10:18, and I'm going to be giving the floor to Jaume Mata, Sustainability Manager at Visit Valencia. because it's one of the cases that it's included within the measure pathway. And I think that it's much more relevant that you hear from the actual cases than from myself. So I'm going to be sharing your slides, Jaume.
Yep.
So give me a second and I'll be sharing them. All right, there you go. The floor is yours.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, and good morning to everybody. Thank you for inviting us for sharing our experience, which is it's becoming an old story. Many of you have heard about, and we are. It's a following. It's a working process. So we're just following the guidelines that the project has produced. And I'll tell you for the rest to just to know the different points that includes in the guidelines. So well, first context. Now next. Thank you. Good, thank you. Well, context and challenges. Valencia is a city of 800,000 people. The metropolitan area is around 1.5 million, and we received last year more than 6.5 million of bed nights. So the pressure is growing. Just included some charts there that are showing how we are evolving our seasonality, etc. And you see how our natural park, which is now is the picture, the other one is the real picture. How much people are overcrowding some points and sometimes. So we have got the pressure, we've got impacts. We are blooming, we are having good economy from the visitors, but we are producing these effects, and that's why well, we are trying to understand how and where next. So this is the context, and we had an objective since the beginning. Well, two objectives, two main objectives that were for first, as a strategic sector, we should stay aligned with the city. What they pointed out, that was to become a climate neutral city. That was the commitment to the community, to the society, and, for instance, to the European Commission. And so tourism should be there. And that's why we became European Green Capital, because we were following this trend since many years ago, since decades ago, transforming the city. And now we are focusing on carbon emissions. So tourism, which is part of it, should be aligned. And that's why next. We already had these commitments as a tourism DMO, as the tourism sector. We had to follow the guidelines from the UN nations. We declare the climate emergency following the city that they declare the climate emergency in the city and the region. So we are following the same path, and that explains why it works somehow and why we should promote that project. We had to quantify, we had to understand who, when, why we produce these carbon emissions that should be neutralized somehow. We should be mitigate, they should be offset in the chain that we had in our city. So that's why next we started. I said it's an old story because we started in the year 2020. So that's why we were pioneers somehow, and that started because we were doing this network. We were participating in different projects. We were meeting other cities, other cases, other companies, trying to get the expertise, and that's why we partnered with our water distribution company in the city, and they had this knowledge, and they applied this knowledge to the tourism sector and integrating the whole tourist activity, the whole life of the product, of the services So that's why we started in the year 2020, calculating the year before, and we are still doing that. We are producing our last report next or in 15 days to understand how was in year 2024. So how it's evolving, and it's growing, because if we grow in activity, we grow in emissions. We are not, that's an advance that you are facing. More transport means more emissions. So we are trying to mitigate our part in the city. So we started with this report, water and carbon footprints all aligned, and together with that, we produced the risk assessment that, well, somehow try to explain where we are going, but it failed somehow, because we thought, okay, heat waves, water scarcity, etc., but we didn't predict the massive floods that we had last year. So it's becoming the message: expect the unexpected, although we calculate as much as we try, but the climate change is so fast. It's so fast that it's overwhelming any kind of expectations, and requires this kind of measurement to evolve and to go ahead. Otherwise, we will be burned or drought, right? So next, why? So why did it work? Because as I tried to explain since the beginning, it's networking as this partnership, networking with other cities, with other institutions, with other governments, and the internal. So we are networking, and we partner with internal companies. We're part of the climate action plan in the city, and we are now producing this report for them, so they can focus on this sector, they can understand, and they can, what we have got, they can allocate funds for every sector, because they know we are producing some amount of emissions. So that's next. And so we've got this climate agreement, this mission in the city, and we did this partnership. And as I said, it's a public-private partnership. Then the city is funding the Chamber of Commerce to pay for this consultancy for all these SMEs in the city that are doing the ones they want. It is a low pace. We have to convince, we have to seduce, we have to let them understand that it requires some time, some money, but you need incentives. So that's what it's working already, because many companies have understood that. Those that they didn't are being faced by the city and saying, okay, we can help you. We can help with you with efficiency. That's the word they need. And then we produce, well, more efficiency, less emissions. So they contribute to the overall goal. So that's basically the program that we are doing, we are following, and it's renewed for next year. That's it. Thank you.
Wonderful, Yamin. Thank you very much. All right, so if you want to read a bit more, you have it in the case, and also you have the contact details of Jaume in case you want to know more about this case or think of doing something similar in your destination. So now we're going to be listening to Luna Polak-Barovic, Board President, Dubrovnik Development Agency. The case was managing traffic pressure and protecting cultural heritage through sustainable mobility. So Luna, I will be sharing your slides as well.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So I decided to show you the context through a video. So I think that, you know, a picture is worth 1,000 words, and this video will show you more than I could ever put in 10 minutes through slides. So I will first show you the video, and then I'll give you some more specifics about our actions.
All right, so let's see if I can share entire screen. And now play the video. Are you listening?
Not really.
Yeah, we cannot hear the.
No.
Okay, so the sound is not working. Okay, I will stop sharing and see if I can.
And Nagore, if you press the share button and then when you press it, you click also include sound, I think that it's gonna work.
Allow source system audio, share. Oh, Mac is asking for permissions. This should be working now. 1 second. Now, yes? You were listening?
Yes,
Yes,
we were.
yeah,
Wonderful.
it's working. Thank you.
Dubrovnik, with over 1,000 years of history, is a city museum and a living stage, a unique blend of heritage and modern life. Surrounded by 1,940 meters of medieval walls, its old town has been a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1979. Here, heritage lives, breathes, and shapes daily life. With nearly 41,000 residents, Dubrovnik welcomes over 2.5 million visitors annually. In 2024, it led Croatian tourism with 4.5 million overnight stays, a 9% increase from the previous year. As a top Mediterranean cruise port, Dubrovnik welcomed a total of 357 cruise ships throughout the year, bringing 515,000 cruise passengers to the city in 2024 alone. But growth is proactively managed through Respect the City project for the benefit of both visitors and locals. Its primary goal is to preserve cultural heritage while ensuring the living city. Dubrovnik's smart city vision ensures tourism remains sustainable. Digital tools like the Dubrovnik Pass, web shop, and people counters monitor visitor flows in real time. Over 453,000 people used the Dubrovnik Pass in 2024 alone, generating 16.6 million euros for culture and heritage. Technology here is more than convenience, it's protection, balance, and progress. Mobility is being redefined. A new limited traffic zone will soon shield the historic core, prioritizing residents, not congestion. Electric buses, a 624-space park and ride, and a smart entry system will ease traffic and protect heritage. Every movement in the city is becoming smarter and greener. Green growth is at the heart of Dubrovnik's transformation. From major park renovations to 150 newly planted trees, nature is being nurtured. Lokrum Island, a protected reserve since 1948, remains a sanctuary for over 150 bird species. And as Croatia's first plastic smart city, Dubrovnik is leading the way in reducing waste and single-use plastics. Preserving a living city requires planning and participation. The UNESCO Management Plan for the Old City was built with input from citizens, experts, and institutions. It guides every decision, balancing protection and daily life. With research-backed strategies, Dubrovnik ensures sustainability is not a slogan, but a shared practice. Facing the climate crisis, Dubrovnik acts. From seawater-powered heating in heritage buildings to 3,700 new LED streetlights, emissions are falling, efficiency is rising, water infrastructure has been renewed, and solar energy is growing in homes, all while preserving one of Europe's most valuable cultural legacies. This is adaptation, not just for today, but for generations to come. Dubrovnik, a city where heritage meets innovation, where tourism serves sustainability, and where the future is smart, green, and resilient.
Thank you, Nagor. If you could go to the next slide. So as you saw, this was our candidacy for the Green Pioneer. Smart Tourism Award, which we just received 2 weeks ago. So we're very proud of this because it's actually a statement to all of the hard work that has been gone into this since 2017. We also have received numerous other awards this past month. And the reason why I wanted to show you the whole picture is because it's not just traffic mobility, it's the entire holistic picture and planning, years and years of planning, and we're just now beginning to really see the results. So next slide, please. So just to go back to 2017, when we were in the global news as a destination to avoid because of over-tourism and crowding, this is an inflection point in the history of the city of Dubrovnik because the Respect the City program was introduced, and it was really turning back towards the residents and towards their needs. Next slide, please. Dubrovnik was well known as a cruise destination and was winning many awards, but at the same time, we had to see a way how to balance, the needs of the tourism operators and residents, and to make the destination more sustainable. So it was a process, but through negotiation with the cruise ship companies, we were able to limit the number of cruise ships per day. Also implementing many solutions on how to transport cruise ship passengers to various sites in the old city and in surrounding areas. Next slide, please. The key document, which was leading many of these actions, was the management plan for the UNESCO World Heritage Site for the Old Town of Dubrovnik. It's the first of its kind in the Republic of Croatia. And among the actions was this reduction of traffic flow around the old town. Next slide, please. One thing that we're doing through Integrated Territorial Development Mechanism is the Park and Ride project. So this will be the first Park and Ride in Dubrovnik, and the plan is that then visitors will be shown how to access the Park and Ride, and then will be brought by shuttles to the old town. This is now in public procurement and hopefully will be beginning in 2026. Next slide, please. So this is the case study, which you can read more about in the guidelines. But we just got data from yesterday. The limited traffic zone was implemented from April 1st until the end of November. And there were fines in place for entering the zone and specific rules that you can read more about in the guidelines, or you can reach out to us. But the point is that it was a long, long process. There was lobbying in the national parliament to change the law because it wasn't legally implementable. So it was a very long road, but after 6 months of its implementation, I think we can say it's been a huge success because we've had almost 300,000 fewer vehicle entries into the old city zone, which is more than 2,000 per day. So we are now in the process of, I'm sure that you're all interested in the hard data, but now we will give the data to the Faculty of Mobility of Traffic, and they will analyze it, and they will have the numbers soon. And then we will see what improvements can be made for next year, because this was actually a pilot activity this year. Wasn't in full effect until August 1st. It was like in soft piloting mode before then. So we will be interested to see, what kind of hard data we can see from this and have some improvements for next year. Next slide, please. Of course, complementary to this is the electric transportation, the fleet of new buses. So only this year, we've acquired 14 new electric vehicles for almost 12 million euros. I would just like to say that we're a city of 42,000 residents. So for us, this is scalably, these are large numbers. We're also implementing other smart mobility solutions. Next slide, please. Here are some of the people counter, predicting the number of visitors, smart parking. So these are all different ways that we are using technology to help us to direct people flows. Next slide, please. And just to finish up, because in the interest of time, we could talk about this for hours. I would just like to highlight some of European Union projects that we're involved in that are related to sustainable tourism or sustainable mobility and climate action. So Cool Noons, Inherit Adapt from the Euromed program, Site from the Italy-Croatia Interreg program, People-Powered Tourism from the Interreg Danube program, Tourism 4.0 from the COSME program, and now we're a transferred city for the city of Ravenna Footprints project. So it's really a sustained effort from the entire city, the city development agency, the city companies, and I'm happy to say that we're really, after so many 8-9 years, seeing the fruits of our labor. So please feel free to reach out. You have my contact somewhere. Like I said, we have very short time, but I could talk about this for hours. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. And the video is very, very powerful. Thank you very much. So now I will give the floor to Maria Tellado, Director in Municipal Chamber of Lisbon. The case is integrating climate resilience. Say that again? Someone has the microphone open, I think. All right, so the case by Lisbon is about integrating climate resilience and urban regeneration into tourism planning. So I will be sharing Maria's slides.
So hello everyone. I'm coming from Lisbon. I will present the work that we are doing in the municipality, focusing environment, climate, and energy, and its articulation or alignment with the sustainable tourism.
Wonderful, Maria.
So that's it. Lisbon in action. We will focus in heat waves in urban areas. We have other type of scenarios, but let's go. Next, please. So in terms of our dimension, it's important to understand that Lisbon is a city with 100 of square kilometers in terms of dimension. It has during the day 500,000 of people at night, and during the day it duplicates. In terms of tourism, we have normally 7.7 million of tourists a year. So that's the dimension that we need to balance between residents, the people that comes to Lisbon, the commuters, and also the tourists. In terms of all the soil, Lisbon is classified as urban soil, but we have several areas that are green, as you can see, and we have a riverfront. Lisbon is divided in 24 parishes. Next, please. In terms of climate indicators, it's important to understand that what are our maximum, average, and minimum temperatures, and what are the types of the winds that we normally face in Lisbon, to understand the importance of heat waves. Next, please. You can see that the territory has different approach in terms of how it will have the impact of the heat wave and the temperature. As you can see, we have downtown and near the riverfront several areas that we have with high temperatures. The temperatures are minimum when we combined with areas that we are green, or they are facing the principal winds to ventilate the city. It's important to understand that during the day, all the people are concentrated in the area that are more temperature. So this is a problem that we are facing normally in Lisbon. Next, please. In terms of the future, you can see that we have 4 scenarios. One is the increase of temperature, the decrease of precipitation and more frequent and intense droughts. We have the problems of sea rise level and, of course, extreme events. You can see that we are facing several extreme events. Next, please, and you can see that the several extreme meteorological events in the past, they were few, but in the last years they are increasing in terms of the dimension and the impact of the city. This is a new importance data to align with all the subject that Lisbon is working on. You can see next, please, several news that can share what was the impact of the high temperature in the city and where were the principal areas affected and the principal impacts, direct impacts. Next, please. What is our path? What is our strategy? For one point of view, during the last years that started in 24, we start the process that it's important to understand and align what we are doing in terms of climate, energy, environment, noise, air quality, water, biodiversity, green structure. That's the way, and how to align with sustainable development goals. Our target is to be climate neutral by 2030, and we have at the moment already our climate city contract approved and on process. Next, please. Next, please. So what is our climate city contract? Our climate city contract goals and targets are to decrease emissions and to be neutral by 2030. Not only focus in mitigation, but we are also focusing adaptation. So we need to adapt the territory to extreme weather events and also the importance of inclusion and social justice. So we need to combine and align the three sectors or 3 strategies to have a good results. Next, please. So when we are focusing mitigation adaptation, we divide our action in 8 sectors, 4 for mitigation and 4 for adaptation, and 2 transversal sectors. It's in these 2 sectors, transversal, that we include our sustainable tourism. When we are talking in terms of sustainable tourism, we need to align with water, we need to align with waste, we need to align with mobility. So it's a transversal or cross-cutting sector. And in this climate city contract, we understand that we had already designed 130 actions. We need more than 6 billion euros to be neutral by 2030, and we need to work together with all. So we have already more than 500 of commitments. We are not focused on decreasing emissions, CO2, but also in terms of other core benefits that are important, in terms of public health and environment, in terms of social inclusion, democracy and climate justice, and in terms of resource of economics and biodiversity. Next, please. So, in action, based on several European projects and other activities of the municipality, we are basing on our importance to highlight the green, cooler city based on natural-based solutions. These are 6 examples of active actions that we already did in our municipality. We already increased the plantation of trees and shrubs. We also increase our areas with urban vegetable gardens. We are also including some implemented biodiversity rain-fed grasslands because we don't have water in the city. The importance of having retention basins because of the problems of security, in terms of bringing grazing into the city is another action that is important, and everybody needs to be in the process, so involve and co-create. Next, please. This is our city. You can see based on one project, European Lifelines, we did along the city several actions. We share and design this action based in the co-benefits, and at the moment we are replicated actions, increase what we have and do more. Next, please. The project focus in Kulnuns, the problem is understand the high temperatures during the afternoon and align what is important to do when we need to have the people of the city and also the tourists and visitors. So create some path along green areas to understand where are the principal highlight surfaces and how to share a good idea to visit Lisbon based on walking along green areas or areas with less temperature and to be possible to do it along all days. Next, please. That's it. You can see the importance of having the understanding of the surface in terms of temperature. With this project, we are at the moment investing in adaptation, aligning urban tourism with sustainability and resilience to climate change, have a jointly engaging between citizens and tourists and visitors, accelerates the application of solutions focused in natural-based solutions, and having some replicating innovative solutions that can be possible to replicate in Mediterranean regions. Next, please. Other projects was focused in having climate neutral neighborhoods. So based in one space, one neighborhood called Alvalade, we choose 4 pilots to understand how to be climate neutral, aligned the actions to mitigate with adaptate and also social inclusions, and also implement solutions, monitor the co-benefits, and develop a catalog of solutions. Next, please.
For the sake of time, you have other 10 slides. I don't know if you want to cover them all or.
So these are the solutions that we implement in this project. As you can see, several ways to go in the process and to have the people in our side. These are other projects that we are implementing with natural-based solutions aligned with Climate City contracts. Next, please. This was some interventions to decrease the impact of water, of flooding in the space, and have some water sources. Next, please. Next. These are other way to understand the importance of have green spaces, 3 trees, 13% of tree canopy, and 300 of meters that we can see a green space. Next, please. Some indicators that we can use by measure using some tools in terms of satellite and artificial intelligence tools. Next, please. And also monitorize what is happening, the temperature, have open data also to have these parameters to measure. Next, please. Another important is to promote quality of life is creating quiet zones. This is important to relate it with. Next, please. And that's it. To be involved, we need to work in terms of municipality, and we need to work with the citizens changing behaviors. That's it.
Thank you very much, Maria. Very insightful, and you gave a lot of ideas way beyond.
Thank you.
Way beyond what we covered on the guidelines. So thank you so much. All right, so now we move to not a single destination, but Nextdoor that covers a lot of destinations. So Adriana Tramullas, project manager at Nextdoor, and the case is supporting European regions in developing coordinated climate action plans for tourism. And I'll be sharing your slides.
Thank you, Nagore. And thank you to the Sustainable Tourism Partnership for inviting us to take part in the webinar and to include our case in the guidelines also.
There we go. Do you see the slide?
Yes. Yes, super. Perfect. Thank you, Nagore. So just to provide a little bit of background, because as you were introducing, unlike the other speakers, we are not a destination, but we represent actually many of them. So Nextdoor is a network of European regions for competitive and sustainable tourism. We are based in Brussels, and we are the umbrella organization for tourism regional authorities and destination management organizations. We currently count 45 regions in Europe representing, as well as several academic and institute researchers and cities also. We work with the EU institutions, and we raise the voice of our members, and we also enable them to actually implement the European tourism agenda, and we do so with projects, with networking and events, and with the exchange of knowledge. In the next slide, please, Nagore, you will see our strategic roadmap for 2030. In Nextdoor, we believe that better places to live are better places to visit, and we strive to strengthen the positive value of tourism in Europe. How do we do that? Well, we focus our work on three main areas. One of them is data. We help our members, those regions and destinations in Europe, to measure the impacts of tourism for better decision making. We also work on governance and on all the issues related to destination management and marketing, but also regenerative tourism models. And then we have a whole focus on climate action. Next slide, please, Nagore. To provide a bit of background of where we come from and what led to the creation of this climate hub that I will explain right after. I would say that it all kind of started in 2021. We were part of the Tourism Declares Climate Emergency that Jaume also introduced, and we were one of the founding signatories of the Glasgow Declaration. As such, we are a supporting organization, but we still have to make and to report on our climate action plan. So we created our own climate action plan in 2022 that, besides decarbonizing our own operations as a small organization, we also identified an objective to support our members in accelerating climate action in their regions. So after launching this climate action plan, we went into a co-creation process for a couple of years. We created a task force with several of our members, some of them that were already working in climate actions, others that were not there yet. But we had to listen to them, understand what they needed, understand what status they were at and what challenges they were facing. This led finally to the creation of our climate hub and the inclusion of climate action into the DNA of Nextdoor with a specific strategic objective. In the next slide, we have a very ambitious objective, I must say, that by 2030 we will have helped all of our members to actively work on climate action and to decarbonize their destinations and take measures for climate adaptation. To reach that objective, we have set ourselves a very clear roadmap for implementation to make this a bit more tangible, and that is the focus of our work year by year. Next slide. How we do all this? Well, it's with this Climate Hub. This Climate Hub is an online platform that is embedded into our own members platform, exclusive for Nextdoor members. It is online, but there are also a lot of things happening offline. We also do events. And it is this platform where we gather knowledge, projects, best practices for all our members to learn from. We currently count more than 300 people subscribed to the Climate Hub. Most of them are sustainability managers, but there's also researchers, there's destination managers, EU project managers, and so on. And we also gather all of our academics. We have a lot of members in Nextour that come from universities and research institutes, and that bring a lot of expertise also to the network. Next slide. Our work is divided into these 5 main activities. So we do webinars over the year, and we also do in-person events. We actually just came back from an event last week in Lanzarote with the Lanzarote Tourism Board. We also share quality tools. We make sure to filter what we share with our members, ensuring that we share very practical and actionable tools, like, for example, these guidelines that you publish with the Urban Agenda. We share good practices. We draw a lot of knowledge also from our EU-funded projects, and we work on strategic partnerships with EU institutions, with DG Clima, but also other networks and tourism stakeholders. And all of this wouldn't be possible if we were not involving our members since the beginning. We are really a membership-led organization, so the voice of our members is very important to ensure that we have direction and engagement. I've highlighted here some of our front-runner regions, so for example, Scotland, Canary Islands, Normandy, Catalonia, and Skåne in Sweden. I think this is one of the key success factors in this collaboration pathway. Next, please. Some of the tools that I wanted to highlight is this Blueprint for Tourism Climate Action Plans that I will not explain into a lot of detail because it's very well referenced and explaining the guidelines already. But just to say that these guidelines that were published within the Community for Tourism project of Interreg Euromed actually work. So they really give a step-by-step guidance on how to create a tourism climate action plan from scratch. And after several trainings and a capacity building, and after now, I think 1.5 years since we last published, we see that it has really worked. I have included here the testimonial of Skåne in Sweden, that actually, and they're not even a Mediterranean region. These guidelines were specifically designed for Med regions, but they are also applicable to the rest of Europe. They took in Skåne, they really took this blueprint and built their climate action plans from scratch within their own teams. They follow the training modules, and now they're in the process of finalizing their plan. So I really recommend, if you haven't started yet, to look into this guideline and to also check the climate action planning toolkit. That is the more practical version of the blueprint that gives you an action planner, a scheduler, and really the ABC of how to build the plan. Next slide, please, Nagore. Besides Skåne, we have also a lot of good practices and success stories from across our network. I've highlighted here a few. This is one of our main activities in the Climate Hub. We really encourage our members to share their good practices. They really get inspired by each other. And by looking at what others are doing, they have the feeling that they don't have to reinvent the wheel, that there are tools out there that they can reuse. And that's what we try to promote here. And finally, the next slide, none of this wouldn't be possible if we were not taking part in several key European projects. These are two of them. One is the Community for Tourism that I mentioned before, and the other one is Tour for Clima, which is a live project with a pilot in Catalonia who are in the process of implementing their climate action plan that they launched a couple of years ago. And thanks to the funding from this project, they are now engaging the sector in the plan. And I think this is also, again, another key success factor for collaboration. And that's it from my side. Yeah, next slide was perfect. Nagore, thank you. Any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us.
Thank you, Adriana. Super practical. And thank you for leading the way at the European regions level. Thank you. All right, so now I'll be introducing the next speaker, Ede Teinbas, Tourism Advisor, Ministry of Economic Affairs and Communication. The case is mobilizing financial tools to support tourism green transition. So I'll be sharing your slides.
Yes, I hope you can hear me.
Yes, very well.
Yeah, good. Yes, my name is Ede Teinbas. Thank you for the pronunciation. I work in Estonian Ministry of Economic Affairs and Communications as tourism advisor. Like Adriana, I'm not representing only one urban destination, but but a number of those in supporting and helping in their sustainability path. I'm very grateful that I can present the Estonian case study in financing our tourism entrepreneurs and destinations in acquiring international sustainability labels. And that is one example that is highlighting Estonian commitment to sustainable tourism. And I know I'm the last presenter, so I hope the audience still has some energy to listen to one more example. I try to be brief and concrete, and we can move to next slide. So at first, the question is why? Why did we start with this initiative? So actually, Estonian tourist businesses and destinations have been operating sustainably, but they have not been documenting it and not communicating it. And the uptake of international labels was slow. And it made also difficult for Visit Estonia as a brand to advertise Estonia as a sustainable destination that it actually is. We can move further. So sometimes good things happen in difficult times. And during COVID, Estonian government, and I suppose as many other governments and city governments as well, allocated significant funds to support Estonian tourism. And here in Ministry and with our implementing body, which is Estonian Business and Innovation Agency that operates the Estonian Tourist Board or Visit Estonia team, we had discussions and we decided to allocate one part of this additional financing to support the future. And we directed it to the sustainability program.
Sorry, it's just that I'm seeing that it's cut. So let's see like that.
Okay, yeah, that's good. And to accelerate the sustainability label adoption in tourism, not only financial aid was given, but also technical and organizational support has been offered to businesses to obtain the Green Key label and for destinations to pursue Green Destination certification. And we decided to focus on these two international labels as they are the most known and most systematic approaches, or one of the most known. And 100% of support was given to companies and destinations from 2020 to 2025 fully. And from this year onwards, we have reduced the support to 50%. And yes, in more detail, how it was done. So like I said, the Visit Estonia team, they offered grants, but not only, but also advice and tools to businesses. So there was worked out a sustainability plan to guide enterprises adopting Green Key and that assisted destinations with toolkits for sustainable destination management. And destinations could participate with the support of government in Green Destinations Pilot Certification Program, which was introduced in 2020. And it included capacity building, destination assessments, training on criteria and benchmarking. And very important was also the local stakeholder engagement by destination coordinators, and also continuous improvement processes were used to align the international criteria to Estonian context. We can move further to see the first achievements. So the cooperation with Green Key program began in Estonia as early as 2001. That demonstrates the long-term commitment, but the number of companies that were adopting the label was rather slow. And now with these 5 years, it has been rising to 87 businesses, which is a noticeable number when you consider the size of the country, which is very small. We have 1.3 million inhabitants and approximately 3,000 tourist businesses. And all 7 pilot destinations that started achieving green destination status in 2020, they achieved it in next year. And I also put the names of these destinations here so you can practice your Estonian pronunciation, right? Let's move further. And further achievements. As I said, one key of success is also constant improvement. So actually all 7 pilot destinations renewed or advanced their awards into 2023. So some destinations upgraded it to next levels. For example, Lahemaa went from gold to platinum level, and also Tartu achieved platinum level. And from this year also our capital Tallinn has achieved the golden award, and new destinations are joining. So our westernmost county Läänemaa is getting acquainted with the process and is engaging in it. So why it worked, the success factors. Firstly, it's strong institutional backing. So the support came from national governmental agencies with resources and legitimacy. Secondly, it's the holistic support model. So combining funding, advice, and tools, this all lowered barriers for small tourism enterprises. Thirdly, the phased approach. So the pilot certification allowed destinations learning and adopting before full scaling. Fourth, the destination level of alignment. While multiple municipalities engaged, that enabled peer learning between them and leveraged also local identity. And finally, the international benchmarking. Participating in recognized labels gave external credibility and motivation to develop further. But we can go further. Of course, with every success story, there are challenges. And despite significant progress, the initiative faced several challenges. And these, of course, are providing valuable lessons for future. As the support program was not meant to last forever, like not all things last forever, it was supposed to be kind of kickoff. And as now we are diminishing the support a little. So some smaller businesses may struggle with costs. But then again, the success story has created some kind of momentum. So we see that some are maybe not continuing, but others are continually joining. So there is already this kind of stable basis. And still some smaller destinations or enterprises may lack the skills or staff or resources to identify opportunities, maintain certification or pursue improvement. And this may lead to an uneven performance in some regions. And lessons learned. Strong leadership is the key to launch and sustain the successful program and keep the messages continuous over time. There is needed this strong institutional mandate and the funding stability to provide security to all counterparts. And we can say that certification of tourist businesses and destinations actually works. So it gives them power to work with their in their sustainability path, but it works when it's accompanied by support that includes training, subsidies, toolkits. Piloting first helps to tailor the criteria and processes before the broad rollout. Destination level clustering, when multiple municipalities work together, it helps to share the resources and build momentum. And finally, continuous renewal and upgrading of certification encourages ongoing sustainability improvements. And that's all from my side. I hope you got some thoughts or questions, and you are of course welcome to ask those now, or here is my email. You can write me anytime next week or month or year.
Thank you so much, Ede. Very insightful. All right, so I don't know if there were people already asking questions in the Q&A. If there are some questions, we can pose them from the Q&A, or if not, I have questions of my own. Okay.
Yeah, Nagore, so far we do not have any questions on the chat, but
well, there is in the Q&A, there's someone saying, I would like to kindly ask whether a certificate of participation will be issued. Okay. Okay, sorry. No, nothing. Okay, so I will ask one question to all the speakers, and either in the guidelines or some of you even mentioned it today in the presentation, but I would like you to give in a couple of minutes per each of you. If you want, we can follow the order that we had already in the agenda. So, I mean, Jaume, Luna, Maria, Adriana, Nere, on the kind of technical level and political level coordination and support needed for when we are addressing climate change actions in a destination. I know that some of you are working at the regional level and at the country level, but still, since tourism is not managing climate on its own and needs collaboration with other areas, for the local destinations, do you have, thanks to these actions that you've done, developed committees or technical meetings that are taking place, I don't know, every 3 months, every month, every 6 months, and they are established, and the environmental people know the urban planning people and the tourism people, and everyone knows each other at the technical level. And the other part of the question is whether it has been quite relevant that sustained political support is actually there for the whole thing to actually work, because sometimes if finance is missing, if the political level doesn't see it, finance doesn't come through, and so on and so forth. So Jaume, if you're okay with it, I will be starting with you.
Right. Well, from the technical side first, well, what we tried since the beginning was just connecting with all the fields that, as you say, we are not responsible as such. We were a DMO, a former DMO. We're trying to give solutions to our members. So as we represent the sector and we approach to the city hall and say, okay, the sector is here. Do you want to deliver anything, or we have to compete and we have to get some tools and materials? Because we have to coordinate. So since they know that there is someone here that are listening to them and are trying to connecting first, so you need someone to be particularly devoted for that. And then we promoted our project, which was, okay, let's do our measurement and we will give it to you, so you know what was our part. So we are talking their language, but we're lucky that from the political side, as you said, well, we were involved on this climate mission, so already they knew, okay, that's clear, you should be part of it. And well, it's always trying to participate, because otherwise the tourism is one of many sectors, and we have to be on all these discussions, all these forums, all these projects to understand, okay, my voice is the voice of people that don't live here, they don't vote, but they are producing good and bad impact. So it's a time consuming as a process, but you need to express them that you are there and you talk the language.
Thank you, Jaume. Yes, and it takes time to achieve that. All right, Luna, if you want to share your thoughts.
Sure. So it's actually everything that you mentioned. So it definitely helps that we've had the same city administration since 2017. A mayor who has had a very consistent vision, who has gathered a strong team, and that has been working towards the same goals. So this definitely helps. Also, we have many strategic documents in place. So like the strategic planning which forces us, in the process of making these strategic documents, it usually takes about, I would say, a year to a year and a half of work to bring them about. So through these processes, we go through lots of troubleshooting. We have the action plan for energy efficiency, which is new. Strategy for green urban renewal, just also new as of 2025. The UNESCO management plan from a couple of years ago. So these are all documents that bring us together. The strategic planning. And like I said, we're a city of 42,000 people, so really we all know each other. We do work together frequently, and I would say anything, maybe we are slightly understaffed, but that's okay because we're all very motivated individuals. So yes, it's a combination of everything, and it also really does help that our mayor is active in national parliament, so we have a voice at the national level. There's also very good cooperation with the region and with the ministries, so it's a joint effort.
Lovely, lovely, but certainly having the same maker over the years is a key. Thank you, Luna. Maria, if you want to share your experience.
The sustainable tourism is one new way to understand the importance of tourism. In Lisbon, the importance of tourism is to balance with the economical issues. So we are from environment, climate, so we are at the moment highlighting the importance to have to review our vision and to have action in this way. In terms of the technical supports, we have several ideas, tools, best practice in action. In terms of the political decision, it's a complex. We changed our government during this month, so we are waiting for the new point of view. Thank you.
Okay, hoping for the best. No, but you had a lot of data to back up many of the decisions that you were taking as well. So I guess that there is also the implication of the measuring and then making decision based on data, and that's not so common all the time.
Yes, that's it. We have data, we have actions in the field, so we have lessons learned. Okay.
Exactly, and that helps a lot. Congratulations. Adriana, if you want to share.
Yes, so to answer your first question on how to bridge the gap between the technical and political level, I explained you about our climate hub, but we also have what we call a governance hub in Nextdoor. There we gather all the tourism directors, the destination managers, and we look at topics like unbalanced tourism, conscious marketing, sustainable development. And what we try to do is bridge the gap between technical and political, and also between these two hubs, and have these two different levels of staff debate and discuss together and address the issues on the governance of climate action. And actually, the project that I explained at the end of my presentation, Tour for Clima, it's a pilot being developed in Catalonia, but they really look in depth at all these governance challenges that regions encounter when implementing climate action. So the project is still at the beginning. Hopefully, if we do a webinar in 1 year, I will be able to share many more insights. But it is a difficult topic, and we see it in our members. But I have to say that more and more we see them also collaborating with other departments. We see these green teams being created with hybrid departments in tourism authorities. We also see a lot of collaboration between the environmental departments in public administration and the tourism ones. So I think it's encouraging, but there's still a lot of challenges to face. And for our regions that have not yet started their journey in climate action, we see that a big barrier is political will, really. And that is why we really advocate for commitment as the first step to actually engage in climate action, and frameworks like Glasgow, but there can be any other framework, are very important to secure this commitment for the long term and make it independent to the political mandates.
Exactly.
Yeah.
To the cycles that kill us sometimes.
Exactly.
Thank you, Adriana. Ere, go ahead.
Yeah, I think, Nagora, as you very correctly mentioned, that as tourism is such a horizontal sector, and it really, in its sustainability action, needs so much inputs from other sectors like urban planning or transport, etc. So here in Estonia, we are in a lucky position. Like in Dubrovnik, we are so small that everybody knows everybody, and it's really easy to reach the other representatives of other sectors and also the politicians. But we also actually have institutionalized this cooperation. So we have in ministry, we have started a working group. Let's say it's named the Tourist Council, and it's led by the Minister of Economics, who is responsible for tourism. And in that council, we have representatives of trade unions of tourism, representatives of destinations, but also representatives of other ministries. So we have the representative of Ministry of Climate there, who is responsible for planning and transport, and also the sustainability actions. We have representative of Ministry of Culture, representative of Ministry of Education, and so on and so forth. And also now we have, and also the strategical documents that we do, it's not only so that there are tasks for Ministry of Economics and tasks for Visit Estonia and tasks for destinations, but there are tasks for everyone. So there are actually tasks for Ministry of Climate, who needs to, who has a task to lessen the emission of transport, and there is task for Ministry of Education, so that the tourism students who are studying tourism, that they will have their environmental skills, and so on and so forth. So now we have just launched the strategical document until 2035, and really all other sectors have their tasks there as well. And it has not been easy to negotiate it all. It took us really a long time, but now we are there, that it's written on black and white, and they have said, yes, we will do that.
Wow, congratulations. That's a big milestone. Absolutely. So, well, with that high note, I think that I can give the floor to Giuseppe for the closing remarks. It has been amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, for contributing with your different cases, not only in the process of writing the guidelines, but today they used a lot of knowledge for all the collective of people that we were here. But I'm sure that EUI the Urban Agenda people will be able to communicate this farther for many other people that weren't able to join today to actually see your contributions. So thank you and congratulations for the work you're doing.
Thank you, Nagore. Thank you to all of you for your experiences. I think they have been very, very inspiring. I hope also for the audience. And I invite you also to visit the guidelines and check the other 15 experiences that are also very, very important. From our point of view, I think where it is important to deal with the climate change is now we have an international framework, which is the Glasgow Declaration. It is our lighthouse for action, climate action planning. As we have seen in many other frameworks, European programs and so on, there is a lot of knowledge generated so far. So we have knowledge, we have tools, and what is important now is to move from theory to practice. So we have seen now specific examples that could be inspiring for us. And for the destination, this is a must. This is not, we know that we have scientific evidences of the climate change, and also we have natural reminders in form of floods, heat waves, coastal erosion, bigger storms, and things like that need push us to act. So we have to act against the climate emergency. So we hope that this webinar has been useful and inspiring for you. And we also invite you to keep in touch with us for future webinars responding to other actions of our Urban Agenda Partnership. I don't know, Nadia, if you want to say something, closing words.
Yes, thank you. I'm also leaving this webinar wiser, inspired, and ready in a way to see how all these good practices could be adapted at local level for everyone to benefit from. Thank you, Nagore. Thank you, Josep. Thank you, everyone, and the speakers for the contributions, and the participants for being here in the morning. As I said, the webinar will be published and further communicated within the networks of Urban Agenda. I've also pasted here the news section of the Urban Agenda for you to get to know of what is coming next, not only within the Sustainable Tourism Partnership, but there are also other partnerships ongoing, like greening cities, food, cities of equality, water-sensitive cities, building decarbonization, and as you said, tourism as transversal subject could benefit also from the work of other partnerships. So on my side, I also thank you all, hoping you have a good day. And I see also Galați Municipality, which is a co-coordinator of the Sustainable Tourism Partnership, and Irina Isak, that maybe wants to say something for the last 2 minutes. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Nadia, and thank you all of you. It was a very great webinar. It's an important action took by our partners. Also, thank you for all the learnings and valuable information you shared with us. Again, congratulations to you all. Thank you so much. And see you again with other events also. We will invite you also to other events in other action from Sustainable Tourism Action Plan. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Other,